all the unique characters.
I do let him bang. Yeah, I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm a legend, man. I'm building my legacy.
All the stories and perspectives featured weekly.
I wasn't fully committed to that choke, and I kind of sunk into it, started squeezing tighter, and I kind of heard him gurgle a little bit. I was like, oh.
And all the combat sports you could ask for in the best state in the U.S.
Like I said, Ohio versus the world. It's going to happen for sure. Watch out.
It'll be cool, man. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to show them why the Ohio MMA scene is, in my opinion, one of the best MMA scenes in the country.
This is Forged in OH.
I-O.
OH.
I-O.
OH.
I-O.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 65 of Forged in Ohio. My name is Jake Murren, and I'm the host of the podcast. As many of you know, Cage Thunder's biggest event in history went down last December, Cage Thunder 25. I featured two winners from that card already in Chase the Archangel, Arcangelo, and most recently Mark the Caveman, Antonelli. And who better to feature next than the man who walked into and out of the cage last in the Canton Civic Center? Of course, I'm talking about the winner of the main event, Mo Show Miller. Thanks for coming on the show, Mo, and welcome on into Forge in Ohio, man.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Right into the win at Cage Thunder 25. Being from Canton, you're, of course, a Canton McKinley alum. What did it mean to you to compete in the Canton Civic Center?
I always wanted to compete at home. So being able to finally get that chance after I think my last fight in Ohio was 2019. So being able to finally be able to do that was like one of my top goals for MMA, for sure.
Is there more pressure when it comes to fighting at home, knowing there's more family and friends in attendance, or does that not really get to you at all?
Maybe leading up to the fight. Just because you don't have nothing but time, so you think about it a lot. But once I get there, it's all business. Really hear anybody, honestly.
I can't remember the exact time frame, but I think it was early on in fight week when Julian Lane had to pull out of the main event, meaning you were in the main event. Did that mean anything to you, or did it change anything going into the fight?
Somebody else asked me this question. I always thought I was the main event. No disrespect to Julian. Just being from home, a lot of people would come see me. I'm sure a lot of people would have came and see Julian. He definitely has a name out there. But in my mind, they in there, you know what I mean? I would have been the main event in my eyes.
Yeah, referencing Stipe, I know you went to war that night with a lot of teammates at Strong Style. What's it like when a bunch of you are on the same card and get to compete together almost? I know it's a solo sport, but does that help you at all going into a fight?
No. I don't really like it because I think this card we had like 6 of us. You know what I mean? And me being the last one, we all in the same locker room, so some people win, some people lose, you know what I mean? Like, it's different emotions coming in and out. Like I don't have a problem fighting with my teammates. I like, if I'm fighting, the night is about me.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. Is it hard to stay dialed in and focused when you have one teammate walk in, they may have lost, another teammate walks in, they're on cloud 9 because they just won a fight? Is it hard to stay focused on your fight? You're the main event.
It's not really hard because a lot of people on my team are they pretty professional, you know what I mean? So like, they don't it's not a distraction, I'll say that. It's just a lot of us. You know what I mean? When I like to fight, I like to travel, I like to go play, I like to be by myself, just because I know what I'm about to get into. So like, somebody could come in there celebrating early, and to me it's no celebration time. You know what I mean? Till I complete my job. I want to see everybody do well, obviously, but fighting is a crazy sport, so I like to be as focused as I can.
It was no secret coming in that your opponent, Usama Rahman, had a funky style. He told me and the Cage Thunder media team that night to expect the unexpected going into it. Did that awkward style affect your game plan at all?
Uh, no, because at this level, most of the people that will fight me is like an awkward style or a southpaw or something out of the norm. You know what I mean? So I'm used like almost everybody I fought was like a weird style or a southpaw. So like I already knew how to prepare for that type.
You won with some ground and pound near the end of the first round. How happy were you with their performance in that fight?
I was happy. I was happy. If you watch Usama, like he is a tough fighter. Like he started off bad in his career because he just take fights. He was just taking fights. So I'm sure he probably was like fighting for money or something early on. So like I never underestimated him. He got a finish over Vince Murdoch, who was in the tough house. Like no fluke win, like a real finish. So I knew he would be tough and try and hang in there. So getting him out first round was ideal. I'll say that.
Yeah, were you surprised with how long he was able to last? I mean, he took him down 30 seconds into the fight. The finish didn't come until there were 8 seconds left in the first round. He lasted a while there, and do you think the fight could have even been stopped sooner than it was?
I couldn't even hear the time. You know what I mean? So like I just knew like I could feel him breaking down. So I just keep going until I hear the whistle. But like I could feel him breaking down. So I just didn't want to stop because I knew I almost had him multiple times. So if I kept the pressure, I know I can get him out of there.
Yeah, and it wasn't any type of pressure, man. Those elbows, you were just raining down. I was in all of them on the broadcast, like, man, just slicing the skull of Rahman. I think that's exactly what I said on the broadcast. How lethal are those elbows? When you have somebody on the ground like that, you're on top of them, and you're just raining them down over and over and over again.
Lethal. I compare myself to like with those elbows with like John Jones. Like I rarely see anybody with that type of ground and pound. Like I even said I think mine is better than Khabib. You know what I mean? Khabib don't really use elbows and like I did that a lot in the amateurs when the time was shorter. Like keeping that pace is a lot harder for a 5 minute fight. So I kind of slowed down. But when I got that split decision loss, it like immediately popped in my mind like go back to that so they so they don't think shit's sweet, man. For real.
For Cage Thunder 25, it was a very dominant round. You got the win. We talked about the fight being in your hometown of Canton, Ohio. What were the emotions like after the big win?
Relieved. Just to I think my last win. So I had the Fury title. I broke my leg, waited a year, came back, lost the split decision. So I haven't won since before before that Fury title. Like I think that was 20 summer of 22. So to me that's not acceptable. You know what I mean? So like I wanted to and then I wanted to show everybody like I'm still one of the best in the world. Like so just to get a guy like that out in the first round, I was relieved that I proved to myself that I can still do that.
Do you feel like you accomplished that goal? You showed everyone else that you are the best in the world with that performance and with the win?
No, because people won't give me credit because he did have a losing record. But that was the first guy I ever fought with a losing record. You know what I mean? So like to me, I know I'm the best in the world, but people probably won't give me the credit. Uh, that's why I'm steady. If you follow me on Instagram, steady asking for the UFC, asking for it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not asking for no low level fights. You know what I mean? Like I'm willing to get in and prove I'm the best in the world with whoever, like any style. So like I think a lot of people seeing that I have potential, but I don't think they know. Like for me to say best in the world, they won't understand. Like they won't get it until I prove it on the highest level. And that's all I'm asking. I'm willing to do that. You know what I mean?
So you mentioned the 2-fight losing streak heading into Cage Thunder 25 and the importance of the fight for you to get the win there. All fighters have their ups and downs, and something that Dustin Poirier actually said that has stuck in my brain is that when you lose, you take 2 L's, a loss and a lesson. What lessons did you learn when you lost those 2 fights?
You got time for a story?
Yeah, of course, if you have time.
So, well, I'll start with the short one. So the last loss, the split decision. That was my first fight, like coming off the injury. Like I had a broken leg, so I wasn't. And my mindset for that fight was don't do too much. You know what I mean? Like stay healthy, get the win, and move on. But I was in the guy's hometown. To me and everybody, and 90% of the people who watched it, everybody thought I won. The ref, the announcers, the promoters, everybody in Texas thought I won, but I didn't. It was a split decision. They said he won. So a lesson I would learn from that is just make sure I get the finish if I'm going into enemy territory. Like I can't use a fight as I'm coming off an injury. Let me just do this or let me just do that. Even though I felt like I won for sure, they won't always give it to me. I'll say that. So that was a lesson I learned from there for sure. The fight, the Fury fight, I broke my leg in that fight, but leading up to that, that was my first 5-round fight. So I was preparing for it, did everything. Fly out Friday, fight Sunday. I get there, get to the airport. They cancel my flight. From I'm going to New Orleans. So they cancel my flight. I'm in Cleveland. Push it back to 11 p.m. I said, all right, that's fine. At least I still get a flight. They cancel that at like 6 p.m. So I'm just like stuck. I'm like 137, you know what I mean? Almost down the weight. And I'm with Cody Stevens. I'm sure you heard of Cody Stevens. He was the coach traveling with me. And I had just got a newer car. And I looked at the GPS. That shit said 17 hours. And it said that I'll get there on Saturday at 8:30 and weigh-ins is at 9. So I was like, fuck it. I was like, fuck it. Called a few people. Ain't nobody tell me no. You know what I mean? Like I'm asking them, what should I do? What should I do? Call my mom. They was already on the way down there driving. So I'm like, damn, like I can't like cancel it because my mom driving down there. You know what I mean? So I just said, fuck it. Like in that mindset, like cutting weight, hopped in the car from the airport, 17 hours straight. Drove 17 hours. Me and Cody, we literally get there at 8:30. Like as soon as we get out the car, feel the Louisiana heat, like everything. So I ain't had no time to adjust. I ain't have nothing. We just threw our shit on, hit the pads because we didn't have no scale. I don't know how much I weigh or nothing. You know what I mean? So we sweat as much as we can. Get there. I weigh in at 133. Never weighed that since high school. You know what I mean? So we weigh in, blase. So I'm exhausted on the day before the fight. It's like I never drove 8 hours, you know? So 17, like I didn't know how that would affect me. And I was like exhausted. So I ain't feel like doing all the obligations I had to do Saturday. Like go get the food, go rehydrate, go to the meetings. Like I was just exhausted. So like I didn't even rehydrate right. I just wanted to lay down. I just wanted to do whatever. And then the next day it was fight day. And Saturday I still didn't get no sleep because I'm thinking about the fight. You know what I mean? So I'm up. I woke up Friday morning to lose weight because I thought I was catching a plane. You know what I mean? So I ain't even. My last night of sleep was Thursday. So I was up at 8 in the morning Friday. Drove all the way down there, weigh in, do all that stuff. Can't sleep Saturday because I got the fight. You know what I mean? So I'm tossing and turning. And then fight day, I was like, I was skinny, I was exhausted, I was like tired. And then Weems is like an energetic guy, so like he ready to go, you know what I mean? And this is my first 5-round fight. So I'm like, damn, like I feel like I ever felt, you know what I mean? And I still went and fought him. So like we went, I think it was 3rd round, he ended up catching me in a guillotine. But it wasn't like a skillful guillotine. It was like a fatigued, you know what I'm saying? Like that's all I had. Like so I don't really say that story much because people really they won't understand. It sounds like an excuse to them. You know what I mean? But the lesson, to bring it back, the lesson I learned from that is make smarter decisions. I don't always have to I just figure if I beat him, I'm going to the UFC. You know what I mean? So I put in too much work. Training for 5 rounds is like a lot. You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna just dry down there, but I ain't know how to affect me. So the lesson I would learn: make smarter decisions. I don't have to take every fight. You know what I mean? Like I could have waited, I guess. But I definitely learned from that fight. It wasn't necessarily the skills or the fight or what Weems did or whatever, because I still was winning that fight. You know what I mean? I just ain't have much in me. So I definitely learned from that fight for sure.
Yeah, I feel like that's an important lesson to learn, and I really appreciate you sharing that story with us here on Forged in Ohio, man. And I could only imagine, I think the longest road trip I've ever taken in my life is about 9 hours, so even more, or just about double that, 17 hours down to New Orleans. How,
No food, no
yeah,
water.
that's insane. How concerned were you that this fight maybe isn't going to happen, whether it's you're at the airport and flights are getting canceled, or at any moment during that 17-hour drive with no stops in between?
I was more concerned at the airport because I never drove, so that really wasn't a thought in my mind to really drive. It was just like that shine, and I was because I wanted it bad. You know, you'll never hear a story like that. You'll never hear that again. You'll no fighter, boxing, MMA, amateur, pro. You'll never hear that. That's how I know I was built different. You know what I mean? That's how I know like I really wanted it. In my first loss to Jose Johnson, that shit was in Colorado elevation, and I ain't even know about elevation. You know what I mean? Like I went Friday, flew out Friday. They changed my opponent. I was supposed to fight I forget his name, but his nickname is Cupcake. He fought in Bellator, all this shit. And then they switched it to Jose on Friday. And I could have said no right there too. You know what I mean? Like, but I know I'll beat Jose. So I said yeah, but I wasn't accounting for the elevation. And nobody like told me or warned me or and I was 10-8 in him first round. And then that shit, I went to my corner and I felt like I couldn't breathe, bro. Like I felt like I was in shape and everything, because it was for the Dana White's looking for a fight. So after the contenders, I wanted to prove to him, you know. So I took that fight. Think about Colorado and the elevation and that shit, and that shit was extreme fatigue too. So like both of them combined is like I didn't have to take that fight. You know what I mean? Like, or I should have prepared for elevation, but you know, you gotta work and shit. You can't just take 2 weeks off to prepare an elevation. You know what I mean? And nobody warned me. Like nobody told me nothing about. I'm just thinking I gotta be in shape. But that shit is like I don't know if you ever been there, but like it's ridiculous, bro, to fight if you don't prepare in that. So like my losses, that's why I still think I'm the best in the world because like without travel problems, like I haven't lost. And then Texas, like fighting down there, like I won that fight. You know what I mean? Like, so like without having travel or whatever, I don't feel like I lost. I was dominating both of them dudes. Like, and then the fatigue kicked in, bro. Like, fuck it, now I'm past it. So I learned great lessons from that. Great lessons from all three of those. Like, I'm a fighter who I'm a fighter and wrestler who rarely make the same mistake twice. You know what I mean? So like, I definitely learned.
So, in hindsight, I guess, with the experience that you had in New Orleans, I know it was a big setback in your career, the loss, the broken leg, but are you at least thankful that you learned that lesson and now you're better because of it moving on in your career?
Yeah, I'm thankful. I was questioning God, all that stuff, because like I know how talented I am. Like, all right, I drove down there, but why I had to break my leg? You know what I mean? Like, so like I'm very thankful because I didn't have to learn those lessons in the UFC or PFL or wherever in the bigger promotions. You know what I mean? Like, so once I do get there, I already will have all the experience. Like, it ain't really much I haven't been through in fighting. You know what I mean? So I am very thankful that I went through that.
Talking with Mo Show Miller on Forged in Ohio. You mentioned the experience that you have as a pro with 11 fights in the last 5 years and with a serious injury there as well. You, of course, are 3 years removed from the win at Dana White's Contender Series. With the experience you had, the lessons you've learned, and the win at Cage Thunder 25, are you at your best right now in 2024?
Yeah, I'm at my best right now. And I'm very good at learning. One of my best skill sets is like improving. Like, that's how I got so good at wrestling. Like, I was never a state qualifier in high school. You know what I mean? And became a 3-time All-American, most wins in school history at Notre Dame. So like the people, the MMA fans who just know me from MMA really don't know how I get down. You know what I mean? So like the losses, even the way how they lost, that ain't gonna do nothing but motivate me. Like I said, I don't make the same mistake twice. And and the fighters know, the fighters my weight class know about me. Like you'll never hear you'll never hear no fighter call me out. You'll never hear like they UFC, they all look at my stuff, but they won't say nothing bad because they know they know I'm coming. You know what I mean? Like I done trained with a lot of those guys and left with the same mindset. I'm the best in the world. You know what I mean? Like, and we don't have to be wrestling. Like I said, I was D2. You know what I mean? If y'all can't beat D2, I ain't saying I'm a 4-time national champion, but when people think about me, they say wrestling, wrestling, wrestling. And and yeah, I use wrestling in a lot of my fights, but I can beat the strikers, I can beat the wrestlers, I can beat the black belts, I can beat the kickers, I can beat the tall fighters, I can beat the wild fighters, I can beat the short fighters. All of them. I ain't saying I can't lose, but I'm skillful and enough experience and high level enough to compete with any man my size, I think.
Now, with all that being said, how good can you become? I mean, you're still only 31 years old in this game.
If they let me in, I'm gonna be the champion. You know what I mean? That's all they got it. That's how good I can, and I truly believe that. When I get to all the resources gonna be equal. You know what I mean? I won't have to worry about paying for me and my coach's flights or having to fight in elevation with 2 days or you know what I'm saying? Like I won't. Once all the resources is equal, then the sky is the limit for real.
Do you think about those things a lot, like becoming a champion, things like legacy often, and the impact you're trying to leave on the sport?
Not necessarily legacy. I just want my shot. I just want to prove to myself that I am who I say I am. Like I like talking trash. I'm not cocky, but if we're in the same competitive environment at practice or whatever, I like talking trash. I like feeling everybody's best. You know what I mean? Like I don't like easy opponents. So I wanna so legacy wise, I'm not really thinking about the legacy. I'm just thinking about let me in and let me prove to myself I'm one of the best in the world. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of them. Like, I don't want to say I'm the best fighter that ever lived. I'm not saying that. I'm saying whoever, I'm skillful enough and uh, experienced enough that I think I'm one of the best in the world. Like, and nobody really like proved to me I'm not. Like, I put myself in all type of situations, boxing, jiu-jitsu. Like, I'm looking for the best wherever I can go. And everybody I ever went with, I never felt like, oh, he got the better of me. You know what I mean? Like, except when I very first started off, like maybe like boxing or something like that. But once I caught on, like, I can box with the pro boxers. You know what I mean? I can roll with whoever. Like, I can strike with whoever. Like, so I'm not. I just want to prove to myself I am who I say I am. And the only way that y'all gonna listen is if I'm in the UFC. You know what I mean? Or at the highest level. So that's all I want to prove.
I love the confidence of saying that you're the best in the world, and I can, just understand how much you believe, that you are the best in the world. Have you ever wavered from that mindset, or have you always had this determination that you are the best in the world, and damn it, one day you're going to prove to everyone that you're the best in the world?
Yeah, I never waver because I always put myself in the situations. You know what I mean? Like, if I say I'm getting better in boxing or something, like, and I'm starting to beat people, like, I'll go fight like Tiger Johnson, who's an Olympian. You know what I mean? So if I'm doing well with him or giving him work, then my confidence gonna keep rising. You know what I mean? Because I'm putting myself in those situations. A lot of fighters don't. Like, it's a lot of fighters in the UFC who would never spar Tiger Johnson. You know what I mean? Or who would never get in there with an All-American wrestler, or who would never, like, I'll do that in your individual sport. You know what I mean? Like, I'll challenge you in your individual sport. And most MMA guys won't do that. Like, so, like, I'm saying this because of the experiences I have. You know what I mean? Like, y'all don't get to see it every day, but like, any coach I have from youth to now will tell you, like, even if I in high school when I didn't go to state, like, Mo always wanted the best available, the best competition available. You know what I mean? Even if I lose, like, I'm gonna test myself and then learn from it. You know what I mean? Most people don't test themselves; they beat who they can beat. You know what I mean? And then MMA, you can kind of pick your way. You know, then you got a good manager. You don't have to. You don't have to fight a wrestler. You don't have to fight. You know what I mean? I'm fighting. Usama was the only one who said yes. Like, I wouldn't have picked the losing record guy, but like, that's the only one they could find. You know what I mean? So like, if you say you want to fight Mo, then we gonna fight. Like, that's simple as that.
Would you say that's your biggest goal right now, to prove to the world that you are the best in the world and one day become a UFC champion?
Not really the world, prove to the world. It's prove to myself, because the world, even when I become a UFC champion, they gonna say he can't do it at 145. You know, you know what I mean? Like, I always felt that. Like, I always felt like they gonna keep moving the shit for me. You know what I mean? So like, as long as I prove to myself and the fighters in my weight class, that's who I want to know. You know what I mean? The fighters in my weight, all my competition, I want them to know I'm the best. You know what I mean? Then they could tell the world. You know what I mean? So like, I just want to prove to myself, like, if I'm not the best, I'm not the best, but I think I am.
Is the only way to prove that to yourself to become a champion one day, or is going on a great run enough for you?
If I get there, I want to be a champion, because I don't want to say this person better than me. You know what I mean? Like, I would never say, like, if I'm in there right now, O'Malley is better than me. Like, I would never say that, you know what I mean, until I fight him and he beat me or something. But like, if it's a champion, I'm aiming for this top spot. Like, I don't want to. I'm not a participant. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a champion. I'm gonna keep working until I'm a champion. If I get in there and I take 4 losses in a row or some shit, then I ain't who I think I am. You know what I mean? But I ain't gonna take 4 losses in a row. For real. I'll beat his ass, like, cause uh, he Peter Yan had 6 minutes of control. Come on now, if Peter Yan can do that, like, and Sean O'Malley fight short people. I ain't that short. You know what I mean? Like, you won't fight him. You won't see him. Cheeto is the tallest person he fought, and he lost. You know what I mean? So like, he too weak. I don't even like talking because I just want to get there and prove it, man. I don't think he'll beat me. It is other tough guys in there, who definitely I think would be good fights. But like O'Malley specifically, I ain't really worried about him.
I feel like a dream matchup would be you versus Merab Dvalishvili. Like the styles of both of you guys, the wrestling and the cardio that he has. I just think that would be such a great clash of styles. Do you agree with that?
No. I think people don't under that's why I don't really do interviews because I don't really like talking. But people don't Merab, I don't like I'm a high level wrestler, so like I understand wrestling. You know what I mean? Like Merab wrestling ain't high level. He do have a pace. That would be the fight. It's his pace. But if I wanted to take Merab down, I would take Merab down. I don't think he'll take me down. Uh the dream matchup would be me versus Umar. That's the fight I want. That's the fight I always wanted. Like people, he's very good at his kicks. He's very good at wrestling. And he's trained under Khabib. So like me, like I come from a Taekwondo background, so I can like see the kicks. You know what I mean? I understand range. I understand. If you look at my last fight, you can see it on the feet, like how I like bounce in the side. Like people think I don't use my Taekwondo, but my footwork, you just don't know what you're looking at. You know what I mean? So like with Umar and his kicks, I know what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? I know the distance that he needs to land them. I just think that would be a great fight because he all around and I'm all around. And he'll be the one to show that I don't need wrestling. You know what I mean? Somebody like that. Like where I would strike with him or where I will take him down or you know what I mean? I just think that I think Merab is like only wrestling and only pace. You know what I mean? So like he'll realize he can't take me down. Like so I'll probably piece him up for real. For
I
real.
love that, man. You don't hear many people right now calling out Umar and saying, that's a dream matchup. That's a fight that I want one day. I give you a lot of credit for that as well. Once again, this is Mo Show Miller with us on Forged in Ohio. Just a few more minutes with you, man. Let's talk short term. When can fans expect to see you back in the cage?
Uh, I I'm really waiting for a call up, but I feel like they won't just call me. Yeah, I don't know why, but I don't know what I want to do right now. Like I want to fight, but I know I deserve to be in the UFC. Uh, any UFC fighter, any UFC coach that I ever been around confirm it. You know what I mean? So like that's the frustrating part because everybody who means something will say it. Like from Eric at Extreme to Winklejohn, uh, every Aljamain Sterling. I never even met him, and he shouted me out multiple times. You know what I mean? Like all the fighters, like all the coaches that ever seen me, Glover, Alex Pereira. I had both of them in the corner when I faced I forget his name, but the Brazilian dude at LFA, the one I slammed. That was right before Alex Pereira got signed and Glover was the champ. So I had both of them in the corner and went viral off they do. You know what I mean? They both gave me credit. So like I don't really need like confirmation. You know what I mean? Like just let me in. If I don't win, cut me. I don't even care. Like I just want to prove myself. But I know I'll win. I know I'll win, especially with a camp. And if I can get a full camp, fly me out, that's all I need y'all to do, and we gonna go from there. Like, so short term, I want to fight soon. It's just like, who gonna fight me at this level? Like, I'm taking a risk for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, it's a come up if whoever beat me. Both of those guys who beat me went to the UFC. You know what I mean? Like, so like I feel like I'm risking it, but if somebody say my name, I'll fight them. That's how it's gonna go. So I'm kind of just waiting right now, but uh, I'm ready to fight. It's whatever.
Yeah, and you mentioned how it was difficult to get anyone to fight you at Cage Thunder 25. That's why you fought a guy with a losing record and Usama Rahman, and it might be difficult now that you have that win to find another fight if it isn't for a major promotion. What are the chances that you do get that call up and that your next fight is for a major promotion like the UFC versus you maybe take another fight for a different organization?
I don't know the chances. Shit, they know I'm here. Like, all them, Mick and Sean and my manager, they all know what I want. Like, it just will one of them fighters take me on a short notice. I'm still risky for them too. Like, I'm still somebody you got to prepare for. Like, not even on no cocky shit, but just like, I wouldn't fight me on 2 days, 3 days notice. You know what I mean? Even if I'm in the UFC, like, so I'm kind of stuck in a shitty place for real, because the fighters know I am good. They'll, if I do get a short notice, they'll take him over me. You know what I mean? Like, or somebody can't wrestle or something like that. You know what I mean? So like, I am a dangerous fight, and shit, I'm here. I'm just waiting on them.
Do you feel any pressure to make statements in fights to get yourself there and to that point, or do you think what you're already doing, is up to that standard and that's not really something you worry about?
I got 8 wins, 6 finishes. At 135. Like, the only 2 people I didn't finish was my pro debut and contender series, and both of them was like rehydration. Like, I fought both of them the same. I just didn't eat right, and like, it was like my first time for my pro debut. I never made 35, so like, that shit, I learned the importance of it. And then contender series was like, I think had to go to the venue at like 2 o'clock. So like, I just woke up and I ain't really eat how I should have. So like, I was just like, damn, I entertain or win. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck it, I'm winning, because it's the most money I ever fought for. So like, I made that decision in the backstage. Like, that's why after I said like, I didn't feel right. You know what I mean? Like, but I still 30-27, the undefeated fighter. So like, uh, so like, that's where my confidence, because I know how I felt the fights I didn't finish. Everybody else got finished. You know what I mean? Or some elevation shit or driving. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing straight up. Like, so I don't feel like I lost straight up yet. Like, that's where my confidence come from, because it's always something. Like, but it's not an excuse, but it's like, them is major factors. You know what I mean? Like, driving 17 hours and fighting in elevation. Like, who else? Show me another fighter who did that. You know what I mean? So like, that's where my confidence is coming from, is because I know I'm a risk taker, and I know I put myself in positions to where I had to overcome. You know what I mean? I had to fight some adversity. So like, now I'm ready to go. I've been through everything. You know what I mean? So like, you can't, no fighter look at those fights and be like, all right, this is a way to beat Mo. Not even a split decision fight, because he didn't win. You know what I mean? He wasn't winning. So like, what film would they watch? You know what I mean? Like, what match? So like, I'm just rambling and this frustration, just because I don't really like explaining it. I just like showing people. So like, as far as, do I feel the need to yes, I feel the need to finish everybody. I feel the need to finish everybody from here on out. just to show them what level I am. And people will play with you and they, oh, you just a wrestler or you're not entertainment. They'll throw that at you. But my whole life playing sports, I was never a boring nothing. You know what I mean? So like they just don't want to fight. They just don't want to. They just making up excuses. Like, so I don't know, but yeah, bro.
Yeah, I think what you're saying right now makes a lot of sense. Obviously, you're hopeful, and I think we both believe that you earned that shot right now to get that call to the UFC. But would you be willing to take another shot at something like the Contender Series or something like Tough, or are you really eyeing on, hey, let's get that call up, let's get that fight in the UFC with the UFC letters on my damn gloves, let's get that fucking fight?
I wouldn't turn down an opportunity. You know what I mean? But if it was up to me, I want something straight up. I don't want something like, let's see if he entertain us. You know what I mean? That I don't want it. I don't want. I feel like I don't. I don't want to say I don't have to do that, but like I went viral twice without UFC. You know what I mean? Without a bigger promotion. No 135 is knocking people out with slams, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like none of them. And the ones above me, I wouldn't even say above me, but in the higher organization, they know. You know what I mean? Like they know about me, and like that's what's frustrating is because it's like they ain't no white is saving these dudes for real. You know what I'm saying? By not letting me in, and that's what's pissing me off is because I know I can hang with every last one of them. Like I just looked at the top 10 the other day, and I don't, I'm not scared of none of them. You know what I mean? So like, and I'm not being cocky. It's more just fed up. That's basically what it is. Like I was always humble my whole life. You never heard nothing from me until after Contender Series. You know what I mean? Like that's when I start talking. It's because it's like that's when the narratives start coming. And I'm hold up. I'm still one of the best. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll be willing to do whatever. I'll be willing to do whatever, but I would like a straight up call up like everybody else. You know what I mean? I think I deserve it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And I don't know if it does come across as cocky because I've talked to a bunch of mixed martial artists, and you almost have to believe in that to actually go out there and do it. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe that you're able to do it. So when you're saying these things, sure, it might come across as cocky to other people, but knowing the game like I do, and of course like you do, you have to believe that to go out there and do it, right?
Yeah, that's what kills me is like people scared to speak up for themselves. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna tell you you're the best in the world. You know what I mean? Like and you're not gonna tell me I'm the best in the world. You know what I mean? So like nobody is gonna tell me I'm the best in the world but me. You know what I mean? Like my mom, she proud of me, my dad, they proud of me, but they probably won't even say I'm the best in the world. They probably you'll get there, son, or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, but if I'm not telling me every day, if I'm not confirming it, like I don't know how you can be in a sport like this. Like, what is the point of being in a sport like this? You know what I mean? If you're not trying to be the best in the world, like this is you can get killed in something like this. You know what I mean? Or seriously hurt. Like, so if you don't believe in yourself, that's what killed me is people don't 100% believe in themselves. And that comes from a lot of things, like the work they put in or whatever. I know I put the work. I know I put myself in hard situations for years. You know what I mean? So like the only somebody gotta really beat my ass for 3 rounds or something like that for me to like not believe it. Like, and that never happened. Like nobody ever landed like 5 punches. You know what I mean? Like ever in my whole fighting career. Maybe even like 3 punches for real, for real. So like that's where my confidence comes from. Like I don't know, bro. Like, yeah, I'm 100% confident.
Well, Mo, this was one hell of a chat, man. You were really generous with your time, and I can't wait until you prove to others, but like you said, most importantly to yourself, that you are the best in the world. Before we wrap up, anything you want to shout out or plug here at the back end of the podcast, the floor is yours.
Shit. Just shout out Forged in Ohio, man. That's all I'm shouting out today, man. I like what you do. I'm glad you putting a spotlight on everybody in Ohio as much as you can. I think we need an outlet like that. I think you're doing a great job. Sorry I'm so late. I feel like I should have been on here, but yeah, bro, keep doing what you're doing for sure.
Thank you, man. That means a lot coming from you. And thanks for joining me. It was an honor to feature the Mo Show on Forged in Ohio. And I know you're destined to be great in this MMA space. Before I get you out of here, I always ask my guests to help me out with the OHIO chant. So, OH.
Do I got to do?
You don't have to. Just give me an IO. Whatever you want to do.
IO.
There you go, man. Thanks, Mo. I was honored to commentate your last win. I can't wait to see what's next, and you know that I'll be doing my best to cover it all from here.
I appreciate you, brother, for sure.
That was Mo Show Miller, the 8-3 pro mixed martial artist. I could go on and on talking about Mo's accolades and what he's accomplished early into his pro career, but I'm confident that most of you are familiar with what he's capable of. There's no doubt that we'll see the Mo Show on the big stage sooner rather than later. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Forged in Ohio. I know I said it last week, but I truly feel like we started 2024 strong. I wanted to make this a breakout year for the show, and I'm super happy with the first 5 episodes of the year. I appreciate all your continued support. If you haven't already, make sure you're downloading episodes wherever you listen to the show and subscribing to the Forged in Ohio YouTube channel. And don't forget about our socials at Forged in Ohio on both Instagram and Facebook. Thank you all for watching or tuning in. I've been your host, Jake Murren, and this was Forged in Ohio.